of South America takes on a Moist Esports squad that has looked stellar so far, but they're up against a very different challenge, and I think the desk said it best as this club squad was so close to an even better run at Worlds. They upgraded, and now they have a chance to make a massive statement here on Manfield in round 2.
And what a statement that would be for the club. You see it on the field, stake your claim. The club are trying to do that right here in this series. If they can get to round 3 through uppers in Swiss, my goodness, what would that do for this team and their confidence? I mean, an already team that just oozes confidence, just as much as this Moist Esports squad, this is going to be quite a treat.
This is an opportunity for the club to kind of erase everybody's doubts and knock off another excuse for the casual fans for not respecting South America. When we talk about the top 5 teams, obviously we look at North America, we look at Europe, we kind of look at Falcons over MENA and how quickly that region has risen. But South America has been there right on the doorstep for a while, and all they've done is send teams up into North America to be competitive. The club could be the next team to make that massive step.
Already had a good start this game though, 2 shots, one from Lost, one from Bims, but now we see Rise on the ball. Will end up playing this to the corner. Not the best touch from Joyo, kind of pops off the ball. He tried to hit the ball hit him back. So it'll be Astro this time in the corner, a little bit more success for Moist as they look for a way in. Rise past 1, can he get past 2? He can! Rise starts us off with a solo play to the top left.
2 very strong defenses, but Rise has been the leading scorer of the 6 players on the pitch here. His 8th goal here in the Swiss stage, and he just keeps it going. Rise has been playing almost like he's got a chip on his shoulder, as this shot just got through Astromic, just ahead of the demolition, and the club answers right back.
Don't get comfortable if you are unfamiliar with the club, because you're gonna see things like this throughout the course of the series. We're playing, both of these teams are teams that can play down to the final second stacks. The club get it back very quickly off the kickoff goal.
Both of these teams, during their regional schedule, again, playing only within their region, hovering right around a goal and a half per game allowed. So goals like that are going to be very hard to come by, as Astromic making the save, scrambling back. Rise lateral pass, and Astro's got to race back now, as that one was well outside the mark. And Astromic lets that one go by, so Bems will have to dump it back in. We get back to the halfway mark here in game 1, and things may be settling down, though. Moist back on the attack. It's Rise, drop down, and Joyo not there in time.
Lost no boost here. Joyo up so early. Look at the respect that Joyo has for Lost, knowing his ability. He doesn't know he has 2 boosts though, so Lost ended up able to pull out there. But you can see Moist not ready to give the club too much room here with the ball. You see Lost in the air now, sending it to Rise. Astral's up for this, but had to readjust. So the ball be sent into the club corner. Shots so far pretty even, literally everybody with a shot this game, but the game's still tied up.
With a major tournament like this, major pressure, of course, for these rosters, some that had changes. Both of these teams making changes in the offseason, as Lost losing out on the challenge there. Bams opted for the corner boost instead. They let Rise get dangerously close to the net. But perhaps a deep run into Championship Sunday could be the galvanizing force that these 2 teams need to convince themselves, yes, that change was worth it. We can make a run at maybe a World Championship at the end of it all.
Everybody with something to prove here. And it's one of the reasons why this game has been so close. Mainly though, it's been kind of in the favor of Moist towards this play. They've definitely had a lot of possession, and it's been in that club box. Joyo's put on a couple of more extra shots, it hasn't been too easy for Moist to be able to set up scoring opportunities, and that's just because the club has been matching their speed. They've been able to get a lot of 50s. They just haven't been able to get enough ball control, as that's a tough touch from Astromic. He's able to get there. Bim's able to bail him out. A minute remaining. The club are not giving anything to Moist for free as they turn the ball around.
Astral trying to streak down the side. He got a good touch there. Central ball. Rise couldn't jump up for it. So here's Joyo from the back, who's been the enforcer on the field. 4 demos so far. Giving way to Rise. And Bem's having to dish that out to the corner with Moist all over the club right now. 25 seconds remaining. Double commit at midfield. And now Joyo bringing it in.
There's a bump.
Rise got the bump on Bems. And still Astromic gets back to save the day. Boy, the club nearly shot themselves in the foot, but they just got out of jail.
Ooh, low play, trying to get that 50 middle. But the club able to bail themselves out. Lost trying to do this in regulation. Rise is able to get the touch. Lost is even trying to read his touch out. Ball still up. The club want this goal right now. Rise is gonna deny. Ball hits the ground, overtime in game 1.
Moist couldn't wait to get that ball to the ground and get out of there, get into overtime. Rise, decoy, leaves it for Joyo. Almost like he was playing possum, trying to fake that he didn't have any boost. Here's Astral, throw it up high. Lost will have it. Bems will finish the defensive clearance, only as far as Rise. And now Astromic all the way to the ceiling, great read, and that forces Joyo back. Oh, dangerous ball in front, but powered away.
Yeah, definitely dangerous there. Again, you can see Astromic trying to push him mid, but he didn't have anybody mid-set, so if that clears a little bit more on target, Moist probably could have set up a stronger attack here. Instead, they'll have to battle back. You see Joyo using all of his boost trying to stop that tide. The club looking for a strong counterattack, but Moist's rotations have definitely cleaned up as this overtime has started. They are not necessarily getting too aggressive with their third man up. It's been very solid. That's a free ball for Joyo. Shot is in! And Joyo ends game 1 in overtime.
Rise had a hand in both goals. He sets up Joyo with a can't-miss opportunity. Down to the ground with Astromic trying to come in from the ceiling of the goal. Perfectly placed. And after all that, Moist Esports finally takes game 1. A hard-fought contest and maybe a sign of things to come. I'm here for it.
I mean, definitely look at Joyo when you look at that game there. 5 shots, 4 demos, and everybody on Moist definitely getting the saves out. Even though we started to see Astromic start to really level up as that game progressed, it wasn't necessarily enough because he didn't really have the follow-ups that he was looking for in terms of the team going on that super aggressive offense. So to me, the way this is looking here, Moist, I mean, with the solo effort from Joyo, and also, of course, we saw that goal from Rise earlier, they look to be pretty in sync as they take game 1.
Joyo looks like he is freezing, but he was nothing but ice cold with that clutch goal to close things out. Moist Esports taking game 1. They got a challenge out of the club. And now we'll go on to game 2 at Aquadome, and the challenge, of course, for the club to prove that hanging around wasn't a fluke and see if they can battle back after an emotional loss. Sometimes these overtime losses can be worth a couple L's. See if they can bounce back quickly on the defensive with Moist trying to get the early goal to start game 2.
Talk about momentum and how that can impact the series. And Moist, you can even see it after their start. Very aggressive off the jump here. Trying to get those early goals, trying to shift that momentum into their favor. They know the club is a team that once they get going, they're hard to stop. And for Moist, having a strong start especially this game, really just want to put the club in a hole that they can't get out of. That's much easier said than done fast. But right now, again, the aggressiveness is Rise too. He had to dodge a demo before he ended up making that touch out, just to buy some time. Because you saw Joyo and Astro both end up pretty much double committing on that drive forward. The club haven't seen too much success when they have the ball on offense, if they ever even get it there, because Moist have been controlling the ball very well.
A very long day for everybody involved, and made longer by some of the overtimes that we've seen, including a record-setting overtime in the previous series. These players having to sit through that, waiting for their opportunity. Here's Bems. Shot on is saved away by Rise, but Lost is there to intercept. Oh, tried to get that around Joyo and could not, as he is stalwart right there at the near post. But Moist Esports now being tested by the chosen ones from South America. This one bounced back in. Rise only as far as the Stromic. The club get one central. They haven't had a good look at Moist net, except maybe one time early on in this game.
Looking for a way in. Maybe gifted something there. Big 50 there from Astromic. Lost paves the way for Bims. He looks for the double, but Joyo's back in time. Good clear out. But you're starting to see things here on the Moist side a little bit uncomfortable now on the defensive half. Not the first double commit we've seen, and not the first time we've seen them bailed out this game. Scoring has also stopped here on the Moist end as we hit that halfway mark. This one much more closer as the club have made adjustments in this game.
Rise, Astromic, and Joyo, the goal scorers so far after a narrow 2-1 victory in OT for Moist in game 1.
Oh.
Rise with his 8th of the tournament, and Astromic now with his 7th, trying to catch up with him, both their respective leading scorers as the club creates chaos.
You talk about the club, everybody from the club getting involved in that play. The double flip reset from Lost to pull out the defense. The bump from Bims to stop the follow-up off the back wall. Sets up Astromic. He knows he has one shot, and he makes the most of it. Club up in the game as they're looking to get back into this series.
Remember when Moist had scored to break a scoreless deadlock? The club answered right back from the kickoff. Moist narrowly missed doing exactly that this time around. Now they got to put in a little extra work. Lost only as far as Astral. Trying to do it himself, and Astromic is right there. Bems avoids contact, but gave it away to Rise. Nobody threatening as this goes across. And Lost let it get away, but Astromic's there. Now Bems gonna have to sit around in the net and let Lost help him out as that's popped away.
Astromic taking Astral out the play. Gonna give a little bit of space here, but the club still haven't been able to get out. Meanwhile, Astral taking his time, trying to wrap around the defense. Lost had it tracked, and is gonna be able to take that mid boost. He has a lot of faith in his team to be able to stop Joyo and Rise. They both go, and they both miss, and now Astral has to hold on. Luckily, though, he gets a little bit of space. He might even be able to do it all himself. No, it's denied.
Joyo will try to start the counterattack and just moving too slowly out of the zone. The club diving in after everything, not giving them time and space. It's got to be incredibly frustrating to play against, and Moist has to find an answer. Maybe it's Astral trying to get it ahead to Joyo. Rise's shot here is bounced away by Bems.
You can see, again, the club now, even though after that strong start, they get that first goal, things will start to slow down for them. This one, though, a breakaway, they actually caught Moist sleeping, and the club get a nice cushion as game 2 is wrapping up.
Astromic's got all 3 goals for the club in this series so far, and that one right there might have sealed game 2, but 50 seconds is a lot of time to work with. Moist have been dangerously close off a couple kickoffs. As Astral has it bounced through, Rise has to bring it indirect to the corner. Joyo shot denied by Bems, whose defense has been incredible so far.
3 saves too, that will be savior there for Bems. So much impact as well from the help, the assist to the first goal. They got the club rolling, and then the defensive stops that we've seen. I've really liked what I've seen from Bems, that people talked about it. The upgrade for the club has been working out so well. Moist, though, have struggled to find an answer to the adaptations that the club have made. And the club shutting the door on Moist in game 2. Series all tied up.
They needed to shore up their defense, and what better display of an improvement on defense than that right there from Bems. 4 saves, every single one seemed to have a big impact in game 2, and the club roars back. A 2-0 shutout in game 2. Game on now between Moist and the club.
Take a look at the replay again. you can just see so many opportunities that the club had when they get on that offensive push. Even this play here, everybody getting involved. People are thinking, is Bim's going to go and take a shot there? No, goes for the bump instead. Trust Astramic. That trust pays off big time. And Moist tried to turn up the speed here towards the end of the game, but it only led to more mistakes as you saw that second goal go in. Again, that aggressiveness from them, even though it got them a couple of more opportunities, if they're not putting dangerous shots on net, it's only going to be a matter of time before the club read how the play's going on, and they read it well. Great secure of that game. It's going to be interesting to see how things go as DFH Stadium is the set. Tied up series. Who will make the trip to round 3 in the uppers? We're here to find out.
The club has kind of jammed the game up, I think, Daz, right? I mean, they've made Moist feel very uncomfortable, especially at their back line. You talking about just the improvement for the club in that second game, as a dangerous opportunity there from Lost goes by the wayside. Rise will have to collect this. I mean, in their first round matchup, I mean, Moist got demolished left, right, and center. I mean, they won the series, but they took a lot of demos, almost 6 a game. Just when you've got a team like the club that might be able to outpace Moist at times, they create all that havoc, they become very vulnerable to a physical play style. And now as Astral has nothing going there, as Bems will get it out to the corner. And I wonder if Moist will kind of make that adjustment now into game 3 and try not to hang around as much on the defensive end. Astral's shot here is just blocked away, and the follow-up high, and Lost had to jump in front of Joyo.
You can tell the club are almost forcing Moist to play more creatively. The way that they've been able to control the game, their speed to the ball, the way that they challenge Moist and not give them freedom in the air. As, Astral says, you can give me any type of space, I'll make some magic happen. Look at the read on that, just keeps boosting, 4 down and in.
And Rise running interference ahead, chasing defenders into the net. It's really not Moist bread and butter to wreak a lot of havoc on the defensive side, but it worked that time. Now Astral, again, looking for more. Nobody else diving forward. Here goes Lost and Astramic, had a lead blocker, but still the defense from Moist, too good, as it's going to be from both these squads. And the game within the game, all the mid-series adjustments, and in some cases, mid-game adjustments. Good dive in by Astral. Now Joyo out of the corner, didn't get the second touch he needed. Rise was ready to commit, and that forces Astral all the way back.
Rise, let's get that flip reset there. This one is played off into the side. Joyo trying to win that into the corner. And look at Astral, so quick to it. Joyo also got a demo on the play. Moist slowly starting to try to figure out their way back into control of this series. Still, 1 goal, not comfortable enough, is Lost on top of the ball. He's made a lot of good plays with low boost stacks, just being able to use that kind of fear that Moist has of him in the air to kind of dictate some space. But Astro has the double, Joyo has the shot, and Moist have the goal! 2-0 lead in game 3.
Yeah, this is just impossible. You're looking straight up. You get dizzy almost with the ball whipping around. Joyo there on the doorstep. The save nearly made on that left post, but not good enough. 2:16 to go. 2-0 lead now for Moist. They're at least trying to get Bems away from the net to give themselves an opportunity to actually get a quality shot. Bems has been locking down Moist on the defensive side. Broken through twice though. Rise got the shot away, it's wide, and Astramic will collect with Astral waiting for him. Not around him though.
Astral's really come into his own form this game too as well. I mean, the way he's had a lot, he looks so comfortable on top of the ball, has honestly opened up a realm where Rise and Joyo can start to do more and even set them up with some really solid shot opportunities. You go back to, again, Astral creating that assist play with the double, and the more we see Astral get in form here, the more you see Moist start to pull away from the club.
doesn't feel like either side has been able to dominate a game just yet. As this is lobbed out to midfield. Bems, second touch needed. Joyo's waiting for it. And it almost feels like both these teams are incredibly familiar with one another. Good infield pass intended for Astromik, but Astromik wasn't ready for it. Rise pops one through. Final minute coming up, and that goal would almost certainly have put this one out of reach. There's still life for the club late in game 3. Winner here goes on to match point, and then potentially one series away from skipping Saturday and going right to Championship Sunday.
Oh, that one's going to be a bump on Bims. It's going to be a clear lane, and this game 3 looks like it's going to have a clear winner. 3-0 here. As you take a look at the replay, yep, you see Bims, toodaloo.
Yep.
You're not getting back in time for that.
Yeah, we were talking about it in a previous series over on the B stream, right? It doesn't matter if you lose 8-0, 2-0. A loss is a loss. They had to dive forward. They had to commit. Ultimately left the gate open behind them. So the club falls down now 3-0. And we start thinking about going next here with Moist closing in on a 2-1 series lead.
You see though, still club trying to create those opportunities, trying to figure out ways to get around this Moist team, and that one actually almost goes in, lost with a bouncer. Not good enough. That's been the name of the game for the club's offense in game 3 in particular, as even though it's really been Lost who's been leading the offense with 4 shots, and then Astromik's the only one with the 1 himself, the club have not had much of any control in this game. It was all Moist as they put the series now on match point. Look at Rise. Talk about let's get wet. He's hydrated, that's for sure.
Yeah, the whole team ready to go now. Up 2-1 in the series, and it feels like it's just been a series full of one-upsmanship. You had the tight overtime victory for Moist in game 1, and then the club answers back with a 2-0 shutout, and then Moist one-ups them 3-0 in game 3. As one-sided a game as we've had in this series.
Oh, that was such a good shot.
It was. And it still even felt like the club was just one good pass away from really making a game of it there. And now they're back against the wall here in the 1-0 round, going into game 4, down 2-1. And still, I can't get over with the jacket. There's the wave again. He may be waving goodbye to the club very soon.
Mans is staring into my soul right now. I cannot look away. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
A very different stare from the type we saw from Nolly after Gen G's loss earlier.
Exactly. But it just goes to show, you know, even you can be as confident as you are going into this tournament. When you are here at the major, it's just an entirely different element. And even for the most seasoned, experienced Rocket League players around the world, sometimes things happen that you just don't expect. But for Moist, this game has been, I'd say, at least in that game 3, this is something that I think that going into this one, they have looked for. But now it's about if they can finish the job. They're right there. They're trying to close the club, trying to shut them down. And Rise will be the one to lead the charge. First goal as he just gets a beautiful touch past the defense.
And it almost looked like, I mean, he didn't get the touch he wanted there, but it was just enough. And he made sure to clip Lost to make sure he couldn't catch up. 1-0 the lead for Moist, 21 seconds into game 4. Danger now for the South Americans, the club. It's Astral looking for more. He's got Rise to his left, and he'll just play for possession, dump it to the corner, try and lead out the clock. Very early on to be doing it, but if Moist can dominate time of possession, club, you almost force them to get desperate.
Yeah, but you want it, for those who are watching the club right now, for those who, other players, other teams who may be trying to look and see what the club can do, seeing how they play from behind is going to be what most people are looking for. Do they have what it takes to be able to will themselves not only back into this game, but back into this series? They've made it this far. They've had a great round 1 matchup, but that is not to mean that they should be comfortable just yet, and Moist is that reminder. Hey, just because that other team slept on you doesn't mean we are.
You get the sense, though, that Moist had kind of turned the corner with that last game. And the club have been playing from behind the whole time. Lost forward and kept in the zone. Only temporarily as Rise had to play one back towards Astral. And Astral going to take his time. Met by Lost. Still waiting for the club to come alive again. The only time they have led in this series was when they shut out Moist in game 2. Astral trying to get the second touch. He's got it, but Lost just ahead of Rise. Joyo trying to keep it in. There's Bems again, who's been the man defensively for the club.
Oh, I think Lost thought Astral had a piece of that. Astronomic will put a quick shot on, forcing 2 out. Lost trying to run interference while Bems can get to the ball. Astronomic looks for the bump on Rise. They both go up, and it's denied. Lost 60 boost here. Does get that one to midfield, but no one there. A little bit antsy here for the club as they're trying to make something happen. And Bems, smart move to get back in time and a good clear out halfway through the game. And we saw a chance for an attack here. The club have the idea correct, but the execution is just not there. They can't get that extra bump that they need. They can't connect on those passing opportunities. Moist are literally like water just flowing through the club.
Bems there again. And Astronomic had a lot of pace behind the shot.
Another one!
Here, and Joyo comes from out of nowhere to make another save. 2 best shots that club have had against Moist, and they've been sent packing.
And they gave him the space too. They say, hey, take your best shot. Matter of fact, take 2. And Moist still able to get that shutdown, but they can't stop that one from Bems. He gets it past the Moist defense, and we got a tied up ball game.
Finally, somebody other than Astronomic getting one to go through just under the bar. Almost like you're waiting for something bad to happen there, like that bounce to go just a little too high and somehow stay out. But the club have equalized when they needed it most. Now Rise got through. There's Lost. Good catch on the backboard. And nothing there for Astral, but Joyo still in the corner. Rise waiting to get involved, and he picked his spot, but it's off the post.
Oh, and he got a bump too, but the bump actually helps Bems out on the challenge. Great recovery. Is going to be able to place that into the corner. Lost here. Won't be able to find the ball again. Just kind of rush that touch out. So it'll be Joyo who has to control. Lost opting to play this back. Meanwhile, Joyo trying to disrupt as much as possible. But the club, Astronomic, leading the charge. You see Demos. He's hunting Astral. He's looking for the back of the net. Astral, a great stop. And now Rise looking to return the favor. Lost has to cut in. You can see both these teams taking a piece of each other's book, looking for that breakthrough, looking to see if this series ends or goes to game 5.
Champions Field looming if the club can perhaps find one more. Here's Joyo, determined to put his team in the 2-0 bracket. Rise out of the corner, nobody home, and Astronomic will clear away again. Moist just fine at the back, Lost. Didn't have anybody diving in. Both teams, I think, playing very cautious now, very much aware of what one critical mistake could mean in the story of not just this series, but maybe an entire tournament run and season.
Final 10 in regulation. Rise, on top of this, has Joyo mid. Ball mid, but Joyo can't go for it, so Astronomic clears it out. Joyo pops it up over to the side. Still a chance. This ball is in the air. Astro looking to kill it. It will hit the ground. Overtime in game 4.
What more could you ask for? Except a 5th game, perhaps. Bems try to control. Got the demolition at least. And Lost.
Oh, that's awkward.
But Joyo waiting right there, inviting him to try and leave the zone. And boys, the spacing wasn't great coming out of the zone there. Bems across.
He's there!
We're going to Champions Field!
They go all in on this play. Bems through one. Sees that he has some space. Pinch across. He trusts that Lost is there, and he finds it. Well done for the club, like you said, Stacks. We are game 5 bound. Overtime did not last long as the club showed up late here and Like you said.
Just one defensive miscue, right?
Yeah.
Just one positioning miscue. It wasn't really even defensive. It was offensive. They were all just jammed up on the same side of the field, almost in the same corner, talking about Moist there, and they were just in retreat mode the entire time and could not react to the quick ball across.
This was the only goal you saw from Moist, and you thought, okay, maybe that's all they need. But we know that holding the club off for so long, it almost seems like an impossible challenge. And of course, once again, they show why this team is here, why they're the #1 team in South America, to be able to play things out like that, to have the energy that they do. Just, you can't count them out.
It has been awesome watching this series. You can kind of hear the comms in the background as well as the teams get ready to go to Champions Field. And again, a lot of experience on both sides here. Now we go to Champions Field. And again, we talked about it. What does one mistake mean? What does one moment mean for both these teams in their entire season? So early on here at the Fall Major, this is what we're here for. And Joyo's shot early on denied by Astromic, and we're off and running.
Look at that long clear from Lost, forcing Astral to use his boost. Astral again, he's got none now. Moist needs to be able to bail him out. Sends it to Joyo, who jumps up with 100. Looking for the dunk on Bims, but Bims just with clutch touches from the club. He's had so many clutch moves all series long, and he's really gonna make his mark if he can come in clutch for the club again. Good save out. Chance there, Rise puts a shot on. Follow up here from Joyo, has the control, has the goal! Joyo dances around the club.
You're almost waiting for someone to put a hand up here, and nobody could. Bems with the backflip just got thrown off there. I don't think he expected that out of Joyo, and I'm not sure why. But a rare mistake out of Bems. He's human after all, as Lost eats a demolition. Astromic ranging back, can only throw this to the corner. Joyo is waiting to wreak havoc again. Just got around Astromic. And there is Astral getting beat, so Rise has to rise up right at midfield and does dump this right back into the zone. Well done.
I like the idea there from Rise. You saw him get a flip early. He decided to try to use it when he's toward the ground to get a ground pinch, seeing if he could do something that maybe the club wouldn't expect, but the challenge is there. Again, the club don't want to give Moist too much time in the air. They're very confident in some of the challenges that they make, and for good reason. Moist a solid team. I mean, you see that again. Great save out from Astral to make sure that doesn't go in. The club looking for a way back into this game, but the ball is on Astral. The ball is set for Moist, and Lost has to deny.
Well, Joyo did not have that one lined up, and nobody was fooled by anything as this got dangerously close to the Moist Esports net. Now Astromic up the ladder again.
Oh, he left it.
He's gonna leave it for Ben.
Oh.
Rise, follow up now from Lost. Double no, Joyo's there to snuff it out.
The fact that they, again, are getting so creative and so confident on these drives, for them to just, Astromic, he has a flip, he has boost, he decides to leave it for Bims because he has a better shot. I mean, they're sending most of their team on some of these plays just because they got to do something, they got to get back into this game.
Astral with a great turn at midfield. That was gonna be a dangerous opportunity. Rise got a piece of Astromic, who couldn't recover, and Rise will finish it off.
And he's getting loud too. You see that beautiful chip shot here. Astromic thought he had the read, but was just so close. It's not enough here. Now the club, monumental task as Moist are starting to ramp up. This game is halfway over. They are racing against the clock.
Bems demolished, Astromic bumped again. And oh, what a save by Bems, getting back off the respawn.
Off the stealing, Bims. For the clear out. Astral, though, takes this ball. Not a lot of boost for Astral, so Astromic will relieve him of that. And Lost sending it across. Still has control of the ball. Trying to force something here for Moist to put his team in a better position. It's been a tough start here, but that's a good drop. Lost can't get there in time. It's a good goal line save from Joyo.
Moist doing just enough.
Oh, can he turn?
Lost, can they tuck this one in? No. And Rise just ahead of Astromic. That's going to force Lost and Bems all the way back very quickly. and good pressure out of Astral. Boost and ball and possession and more time off the clock. Indirect out of the corner. Rise got the shot away, and Rise is putting the club to sleep.
Oh my, he is having a field day. Look at this, great touch out, follow up there. Lost gets no time to work as Rise has elevated, and Moist are in a comfortable lead. Still time here, but the club, they're gonna need some magic quick.
The gravity of the situation, I think, has finally kind of hit the club. I think it did after that previous goal, and certainly after this last one. Now Lost. He's got a full tank. What can he do with it? Trying to get one quickly across. They got the demolition at the net, but it did not matter. Nobody else was home. And back across midfield they go. Lost is way up in the air. What can he do with this? Looking for Bems. Didn't work out. It dropped down almost into Astromic's lap, but not quite. And the club, I mean, they're just throwing caution to the wind at this point, trying to get creative, as you mentioned earlier, Daz, but it has not been enough.
We talk about the club playing down to the last game, but Moist is a team that does that as well. People seem to forget last season, they were 8-1 in game 5s and 7s. That only loss was, of course, the moment that they ended up losing to Furia at the World Championship, but that doesn't mean that they don't still got it in these late game stacks. They're showing up, and they're showing the club exactly who they are. 30 seconds remaining in regulation, and Moist are showing no signs of giving this game up.
The final 25 seconds will burn away here, and barring a miracle, Moist Esports will move on to 2-0, and they'll be one win away tomorrow from reaching the top 8 as Astral puts the cherry on top with only 14 seconds remaining. Hey, it was not easy at any point here, but Moist Esports are going to persevere.
They are. They get out of this round for sure, but not without a couple of bruises. As again, the club still playing on. Final 10 seconds here, regulation. A valiant effort, and they will end up getting a goal here this game. A little bit of a miss. You see some laughs on the Moist side, but you know. The club take that one now. 6 seconds left in regulation, and you know, this one was great until I'd probably say halfway through the game.
Well, even with their warm winter coats, Moist still has the ice. They've done it again on Champions Field, and they take down the club in 5. A spirited effort from the champions of South America. But in the end, Moist Esports onward to 2-0.
Cold as ice, colder than the venue. They show up, and I'm sure Moist fans are thankful that they show up in these moments, but I don't think that they appreciate the fact that it gets to this point.
They are the version 1 of Europe.
They really are.
They just go to game 5 as often as they can, it feels like. They give their fans heart attacks, but Cardiac Pack comes through again, and Moist Esports get the job done. Again, a strong effort out of the club. Not much to hang their heads over, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They go down now to 1-1, but they have, I think they've earned a lot of respect from that performance, and they've got a lot to build on now going into tomorrow and through the rest of the weekend as they try to get back to a top 8.
Only two teams end up playing against Moist today. It was FaZe Clan that played earlier, and then it was the club now. The club looked much better against Moist, and that's coming out of that FaZe series that Moist straight up dominated in. Very well done, but of course, Moist are gonna move on.
Yeah, I think it was just Astromic being called on to do maybe a little too much. I mean, you'll see Astromic pop up a few times on this highlight reel, and the defense out of Bems. I mean, everybody seemed to have a clear role, right? I mean, Lost was kind of the enforcer, Astromic was the striker, Bems was the defender. It's got to be a full team effort to take down a team like Moist Esports, where everybody shot, everybody scored, everybody had a helping hand as well in most of these goals for Moist Esports. And now Leaf will be standing by in just a moment with the victorious Moist Esports squad.
And getting a little bit louder now, we have Joyo joining us. You're joining Rise in a lot of the yelling now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a closer series. The club were playing good, so, you know, I had to get loud, get in their heads, try beat them, you know. Worked.
Yeah, it was a close series, though. It went to 5. I'm curious, because a lot of people have been hyped on the club. There's been a lot of people believing maybe they can get some upsets. Are you believing in that hype?
I mean, the club are a good team. I mean, it probably depends on the day. But, yeah, I mean, Lost especially. They're all good players, but Lost are beasts.
I absolutely agree. I want us to keep it on that note, but bring it to like a broader spectrum here. In this tournament, you know, you've been scrimming a lot of teams. You have a lot of experience with them now. Obviously, scrims might not always be indicative of how they play on the pitch here, but are there any teams you feel might actually surprise people that they aren't expecting? And are there any teams you think might not do as well as they should? And you can't say G2 because we've already seen them not do that well.
I've only got one thing to say. James Cheese is going all the way.
James Cheese, press 1 in chat if you think James Cheese going all the way. I'm smashing that right now. Up next, you guys are good. You're really good. So I think you're ready to become an analyst. So I'm going to give you a prediction for the next match. We have K-Corp and SSG coming up next. V1 currently sitting as the only North American 2-0 team. Do you think SSG joins them, or is K-Corp going to shut them down?
I mean, K-Corp got my own teammate, Vatira. You know, he's the GOAT, Vati GOAT. I think K-Corp take it in 4.
Yeah, I think that's honestly a valid prediction. And honestly, you're probably still going to have a better prediction rate than T-Bates. So we got more Rocket League coming up.